Okay, so these bees this is January 11th, and these bees are behaving just exactly like they did right a couple days before I caught the swarm. Um, I had this thing on because there were so many bees around me. I thought, well, I better I better sleeve up or something, right? And you can see they're all swarming right there. I took that hive, so I had a hive sitting right there. So these bees are all going. Okay, who took the home we had? So these girls here, I had an empty hive there, and they just came in through my garage door there and just decided they were going to make a new home. So I had this window closed over here, and they had all clustered up along this window, um, and they were down there dying. So I picked up a couple hundred of them and threw them in the hive that's in the front. So they're going to have to reorientate to a new hive. I might throw one there. I don't know. I don't like them in the garage because they're going into that window. You can see some over there, and they're bouncing off that window until they get so exhausted they literally just drop down into some like webby stuff down there, and that's where they die. So this is only the first day that I noticed this was going on this afternoon. So yeah, I'll be keeping my garage door closed because I got honey. I'll be processing this old honeycomb down into beeswax, and yeah, these girls need to go. So what I did is I took that hive that they were just now in, right? And so I was catching all those bees in the window, put them in a container, and then just dumping them in this hive. I'm gonna show you. I just kept doing that. I probably got a couple hundred that I saved. There's probably more on the ground, down at the bottom of the window behind all my stuff. So what I did is I took that beehive, and now it's right there. And so you can see there's some bees in and about. Oh, there looks like a web there. Yeah, they were getting in that. There was all kinds of webs in that window back there. So this is where they're orientating to now. So they're coming out, and then they're flying around it, just like any other hive. They come out, they go in, they explore, and then they buzz around it. They go underneath. They check every crack, every crevice, every cranny, looking for gaps. Things that are not satisfactory, right? They're like little mini realtors. They're going out and inspect it first, right, and make sure everything's like kosher, right? And they do a really good job. I was watching this one, so when I saw that, okay, girl, I heard you. When I saw that activity in my garage, I quickly came out here with another nuke box and baited it. Put some little bit of honey and some comb with some honey, and so I'm going to show you what's going on right now. And there it is. And they are going in it. They're going in it to win it. So this is very unusual for this is really unusual, right? For bees, I might prop this up a little bit. For bees to do this kind of activity it's not even mid-January yet. So I went and did some research, and you can see them. They're looking for a home, and so what they're doing, since I put this down about an hour ago, is when I got this set up. So I got it set up just like this other one. Everything's the same. Got a screen underneath there. All my roll mites can drop down, and I can just pull my observational panel out. And so I've watched it. So I'd come and see what's going on for a few minutes. Okay, is there anything still going on? So this kind of activity last year, right before I caught my swarm, that happened for about 3 days. So I noticed it one day. I go, they're investigating that? Why are they investigating that? Because I didn't have any resources in there. I just had some empty frames, right? I said, they ain't going to get no food in there. And so the next day there was a lot of them. I'm saying, there's nothing in there. Then I go, that epiphany thing we get, throughout our life. They're looking for a new home. So that night, before I caught them the next day, I I loaded it with frames, with a little comb, that I put in the corners. And sure enough, the next afternoon, 2 o'clock ish, I watched them all swarm in here. So what they're doing is they're doing this because what this guy he he feeds them, right? He's feeding the local bees, and um, they're growing exponentially, and so they've got so many in whatever hive that they're in. They're thinking that they need to split. There ain't enough room for all of us in here. We gotta go somewhere else. And so I've got girls packing in on this one. I just sit here a while ago, and it's a permanent. It's all set up. I quickly threw I didn't have nothing here. This was just an open space between the tree and this other hive here. It was just an open space. I seen how these bees were behaving. I'm going, because I wasn't ready. I was thinking maybe I'll get set up in March. 1st of March maybe. Throw some bait out there, baited nukes, and see what happens in 1st of March. Heck, man, I'm several months away from that kind of thinking. So these girls caught me by surprise, and it has to do with the weather. Not every year is the same, right? Weather's fluid. And just because you never got a freeze in human history in a certain area doesn't mean all of a sudden one day you're going to get zero in that area and all the palm trees and everything dies and whatever. And so, yeah, so you can see the girls going in there investigating. I watched them a while ago, so I set it all up, and I watched several of them do a full investigation of this hive. They were flying underneath of it, all around it, like this, around the back, hovering, landing on the back. They're looking for cracks, crevices, crannies, something don't look right, something don't feel right. They do a really good inspection before they go back and tell the other girls, like, hey, I found a place. And then they all come to that place, there's holes everywhere and drywall's falling off, and let's get out of here. But you don't follow. You don't know what you're looking for. How does that happen? Yes, it does, but in their mind, not in ours. We just can only express things our way, and they express things their way. I'm just using a metaphor. So I watched, and so when I put this lid on, I watched these girls bounce underneath, trying to see if they can get through, see if there's gaps, because they know that if there's gaps and cracks, spiders and other predators can get in, and that's not a good home to have. What they want is a nice sealed home, equivalent to a cavity in a tree. A cavity in a tree, there's generally only one woodpecker hole or something like that, right? One way in and one way out, nice and dry all the way around. And that's what they're looking for. They're doing this full realtor inspection, and I watched these girls just going, man, they were underneath there, bouncing underneath, bouncing on the sides, trying to get in any little cracks, looking for any grooves, Yeah, this hive. So when I built this hive, because everything there I built from scrap, I made sure that after I was done building, I had everything was sealed nice. So I had a nice tight fit on everything that's going to come together. So when they go to inspect it, they go, "Oh, this is a nicely well-built home." And they'll just go in, like now, right? That's just bizarre. They're looking for a home. And so I've got a lot of girls in the garage now so I took the screen out and and I let as many. So now what I've got is I've got a free flow through the garage. They can go either way, all the way through. And so I'll probably end up having to rescue a few more that didn't get the memo. Hey, there's a gap over here. Just move sideways a little bit. They'll probably bounce on that glass on that window, even though I got a nice big opening now for them to fly through. They'll still bounce on that glass until they drop down of exhaustion and then just die. So I'll go rescue those later on, and I'll probably just drop them right in this hive here. Now I don't know if these are all from the same hive though. I seen some on this one the few moments that I was glancing at it when I was running around frantic trying to bait everything and get everything all set up. I seen a couple of them landed at about the same time on right there, and they started fighting each other. Like, no, this is my house. Nope, this is. But the ones that are going in there now, I can see a bunch of them walking around on the inside there. So the ones that are in there now, they're likely from the same hive. So if bees are going to look for a new home, um, they'll battle ones that are not from their original hive, where they're wanting to swarm from. They'll do battle, and the one that's probably been there the longest usually wins. What I've noticed, and so yeah, they're just kind of hanging out there. There was no bees here. There was no bees here because there was nothing here, no structure, no nothing. There was no bees here, but moments. So what I did is I grabbed this empty box, but I have some comb in there with some honey in it. There's a little bit of scraps of honey and resources like pollen that's already in some of the cells from last year. And there's no so I had it sitting over here. So as I was reassembling all this stuff and getting it together, and there was girls from the moment I set that box down. Like I'm setting it down and they're already getting in it. That's exactly what happened last year when I caught the swarm. Now you're thinking, well, how can they swarm out when there's no drones for the queen to mate with once the queen is mated? Now, if the weather stays like this, similar like this, the queen will be directed by the hive, lay drones. It's drone time. But they're looking at the map going, they're looking at the calendar going, wait a minute, that's really, something's off. Yeah, but it's nice out there. Let's get her done. And so, most likely they'll start laying the drones and start making the queen cells and do very early splits. Like soon, like any day maybe. I went on to AI and had a conversation with AI. I said, this is January, this is Eugene, Oregon, this is, what's happening? And they said, that would be very unsafe for them to do that. I'm going, yeah, but they're doing it. And so it said that if there's a lot of resources at that time in the area, there can be early splits. She'll start laying drones. They'll start making queens for the splits, and that's what's happened. So this guy that's doing the feeding, he's making all these hives blow up. And so now they're going to go into probably early. The queens are going to go into early drone laying, early queen cell making. So it's not the worker bees that make the queen cells; it's the nursing bees. But not all the time. So a worker bee that goes out and she's working, and she comes in. If she sees that things are not getting done in the way that they should, she'll stop being a worker bee and she'll convert back to being a nursing bee. Take care of the queen if it's necessary, build the comb if necessary, take care of the brood if necessary. And then once the population gets back up enough, she'll go back out and become a worker bee again. Yeah. So there is some resources in there. So once they get in there, if these girls are exhausted when they find this, because I don't know how long, they could be coming from miles away, 2 miles away. Because they can fly 2 miles to investigate something. I don't know. I have not seen them go from like that hive to this hive and back. So my instinct is that these girls, look at, she's black. She's like black as night. My girls over here, they're like a tannish blackish. Mostly tan. That girl's black as night. So is that one. Yeah. So I don't know where they're coming from. Probably the guy who's doing all the feeding all of his bees, and they're going blowing up, and they're already looking for a new home. Yeah. Oh, that's a really pretty one there. Totally black body with totally white stripes, and it's usually the opposite, right? As far as the brown bees, so their bodies are dark brown maybe or light brown, and their stripes are black. Found right there, totally black body with just white stripes. kind of like dogs, you know, you get all kinds of different shapes and colors, and yeah, bees are like that too. Yeah, you can get all kinds of different honeybees, colors, sizes even. Some bees are different sizes. Oh, there goes the devil. She's gonna fly. You're sick. You need to get out of the hive. So I've got that one in the front, a bunch of girl bees coming in and out of it. I got this one, bees coming in and out of it. I might go ahead and get another nuke. That'd give me 3 nuke boxes ready to go. Isn't that bizarre? January 11th, 2026. Now, many times there's snow on the ground. It's like friggin' cold, like really cold. But it's just one of those years, you know, when balmy weather we're having here today. Kind of like that. Yeah, so I can see right 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th one walked in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So when I see about 50, 60 of them buzzing around here, they're coming. Most likely they're coming. They're going to swarm into it. Now, it could be also, the case also could be that these girls are from a hive that is so full, there's no room for them. There's no room. And they just left because there's no room. Right? This guy's not, he can't spit his hive because he's thinking, what would I do that for? There's no queen cells, there's no drones for her to mate with, there's nothing. So these girls might be from that guy's hive that are just looking for some space. I need some quiet time. There's no room. I'm getting constantly bumped and walked over. So, yeah, these girls right here in front, they're like grooming each other, going, "Oh, isn't this peaceful, Sue? It's just us here. It's tranquil time." Oh, there's some fighting going on there. Yeah, they don't like each other. Might be from a different hive. So this box will continue to build up with bees. And especially if they're just coming from a hive that there's no room and they're just looking for a place to call home. Oh, they're already getting defensive. Look at that. Oh my gosh, she chased that one away. Now this is all just from the last hour or so, man. Look at that. They're already saying this is my home. No intruders allowed. Oh, chased that one away. Defensive for what? There's no queen inside. What are they being defensive for? Usually, bees are not going to be defensive unless they have something in there to defend, like a queen. Wow, man, this is just some really bizarre. I think the weather is just throwing their brains off as well. So what I did is I took some I took some lemongrass oil. I put it on this Q-tip, and I swiped it all over the place, and swiped it up in here. Maybe that's why they're there. I was swiping it all over. As you can see, little trails here I made. Lemongrass oil, it's an attractant, and so they attract it. They find it so attractive. Right? They have made themselves their new home. That is just insane. Well, I guess I'll get a couple more baited nukes out tomorrow. I was not even close to being prepared for this. It wasn't even on my mind. I mean, I take that back. I was thinking, I said, geez, we're having nice weather here the last couple of days. I wonder if I should get some nukes ready. Just in case, I have them ready, I can throw them out. The thought was there, because I do plan ahead like that in my thoughts. But I did not anticipate my garage filling up with bees today with my old hives, because I've had them sitting in there. I've had those old hives sitting in the garage for 4 months. And I haven't seen any bees in my garage until today. Today's the first day, and they came in by the truckloads, man. It's like, what? Crazy stuff, right? It's just crazy. Oh, there's a few dead girls. So the busier that they get, the more likelihood that there will be dead girls on the ground because they push themselves to absolute exhaustion. Just, because that guy's feeding over there, they're just going back and forth, right? Until they can't. Right? That's why they have such short lives. Well, one of the reasons. Well, uh, spring bees and on they're not as big and they don't hold as much fat, and um, so they die sooner anyway because they're they're genetically programmed to die for sooner. It's the winter bees, which is these here, that can live up to 200 days. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that they will. So if these girls are out active like they are doing like they would in the summer, and they're just busy like they would in the summer, instead of hunkered down and spooning all winter, then they can go sooner, 45 days, 50, right, instead of 200. And so it's kind of exciting, right? I may not have to do any splits. I may end up with a dozen hives without doing any splits. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Yeah, if I'm starting to see this kind of activity in the 11th of January, 2026, where they're looking for homes already, and I've got another 6 months where that can continue to happen. 6 months. Just keep on catching them, baby. Just roll them on in. Cool stuff, man. Cool stuff. Are they just hanging out on the outside? That's weird. Huh. I think I'll give them some more resources. I've got one thawing out. I had one frozen. It's got a bunch of honey and pollen and nectar and all that stuff in there. Got it thawed out. It's probably all thawed out. I think I'll go get that, and I'll throw it in this hive, and that'll give them even more food. So the one that's in the cherry tree right now, that has a good amount of resources. That's what, the stuff, the frames that I put in there. There's 5 frames in there, and they've got pretty good resources. Oh, you girls are still. Oh, it's dwindling. Oh, maybe not dwindling that much. Still quite a few girls in here. Where did all those resources go? What happened to those resources? Oh, yep, I seen you. And so what I did is I had one frame left that I was still freezing. I did not anticipate this kind of activity occurring, right? You wouldn't either, would you? It's common. So I got this frame here that I've been letting thaw in the sunlight. Got a bunch of gnats in here trying to get some of the resources. So I got, it's got some honey on there. I can feel the weight. So it's got some pollen, some nectar in there. It's got honey. Yeah. So I'll put this in there, and flopping my phone around, and I'll get them even more excited to go in there, right? Like, oh look, food is falling from the sky. Happy days are here again. The sky is blue. Okay, I'm gonna pop this somehow. I'm gonna pop this thing and throw that in there. Just like yay. Yay! Pop it in there. Hey! I can come out and sting me. I'm overly protective already. So I've got my lid and got my cover board, and I will give you girls some more resources. Resources? Oh, hi there. Yeah, some nice honey down there, huh? Yeah. You getting defensive already? Jeez, really? This is my new home. It's not yours. I don't care if it used to be yours or not. It's now mine. Just like that, baby. So I'll grab probably tomorrow in the morning, I will grab a few more frames and throw them in there. Maybe. Well, I will. But I'll make sure that I have the little cone in the corners. And then I'll also get my other nukes out. I've got about six more, 6 or 7 more boxes that I can prep and throw out. Wouldn't that be crazy to catch 6 swarms? The Guinness Book of Records, maybe? Backyard beekeeper. Started out with 1 hive. 2 days later, he had 7. In middle of January. Yeah. They look really defensive of the hive. They look like this is my new home. I'm gonna be living here now. And don't ask me for rent. Because I will sting you. Especially you tax collectors. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Look at that stuff, man. That's just too bizarre. Not even middle of January yet. Look at that. Girls just flying in and in like those girls just flying in and out of there like they own the place. I've lived here my whole life, and don't anybody ever tell me different. Huh. Too bizarre, man. Interesting, huh? Well, I'll be doggone. Guess I'll go check to see how the one in the cherry tree's doing. I just kind of threw it up there and walked away. So I have a little door on that one that I put in the cherry tree, and so I'm able to close it and move it. Just and because I designed that about 4 years ago, not 5, as a portable hive, so that I even have a piece on the top. If I'm traveling in a vehicle, I can open it up so it can vent and not overheat, and then I can actually totally seal it so water can't get in. And I also made it so that the entrance, I just flap this little piece of wood back and forth, and it seals it nice and snug. And I can throw it in my car, hive it on. Because I was wanting to take it somewhere when I first made it, because I had not seen any bees in my area until like July, which is past usually the swarm season usually. So I was thinking about, I'm going to build this, design this, so I can take it into some forest area, drop it off, and bring some bees back in my car. And that's why I designed it that way. But I ended up catching this swarm up there instead of out in the woods. It was purely by accident. I wasn't really thinking it was going to happen. Sure enough. Okay, well, I'm going to go check on the one in the cherry tree and see if they all left or if they're still building up in there. Yeah, I got to go collect the ones in the garage. They're just all over the ground, the floor in the garage. They don't know what to do. I took that hive away, and they could be exhausted. They buzzed around in that garage, thinking they had resources, and there's a hive, there's food, and there's nothing, and they're just still buzzing around in there, and they're just going to fall to the floor. So I'm going to probably pick them up and put them in a container and bring them over here and dump them in this hive. All right, piece of crap, thumbs up, ring the bell, click the like button, and I'm going to make more of these videos just for you. Well, I was making a comment earlier about social media and engaging in relationships on social media. Don't do it. The vast majority of those people are scammers. It doesn't matter whether the pictures are real or not. A normal person looking for a normal relationship with a normal other person doesn't go on social media to meet someone in that way. They just don't do it. Somebody who's actually looking for a meaningful relationship goes out socially in their area. and they'll date and they'll do those things in their area. They're not going to be traveling 1,000 miles, 200 miles, 100 miles to meet someone and to actually build a meaningful relationship. In general, it's best to look at things in general than it is to assume outside of general, right? It's common sense. So, yeah, I'm single now, and I will not be looking for a relationship outside of my zone, right here in this area. It ain't gonna happen. No. Long-term relationships like that are no good. They don't work out in general. It's best to look at things in general than it is to, oh, there's a risk that there's a possibility that a tooth fairy might leave me some money underneath my pillow. Well, not really. So it's best to be more realistic about things, in my opinion. That way we can plan, when we plan more realistically for things, and we engage and we do certain things knowing that, okay, this is more likely to happen if I do this. But if we're like living in that fantasy world, the odds are really low. But we engage in things physically and the odds go up exponentially that something meaningful might happen. Anyway, yeah, no long distance relationships, no social media relationships. It's okay to communicate with them and stuff like that. Don't ever give any money if it doesn't matter what the reason is. You know what I mean? They're scammers if they ask for money. If they ever talk about money, oh, I need money for this. Ordinary for me to come and be with you, I need a bus ticket money. And then all of a sudden, I'm on my way and they never show up. And it goes on like that. I got this settlement thing. I need some money for this. I get the settlement and I'll get $100 million. And it's just on and on and on and on. Right? That's lonely, man. Well, I'm not lonely. But when people get lonely, we're more vulnerable if we allow ourselves to become lonely or feel lonely. Don't be lonely. Get some hobbies. Pick up some beekeeping or a hobby, oil painting, whatever your imagination is, right? Some sort of arts thing or some sort of social group thing. Social group thing would be the best, right? You're going to get out, socialize, and meet people. Organic stuff, right? Organic engagement is the only way to go. Yo, you do know. Good day. Oh, I'm going to have to delete that one.